Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast, episode 74. In this episode, I speak with Anthony Casabianca. Anthony is an actor out here in Los Angeles, and I really enjoyed our conversation as I got to know Anthony better, get his background, and talked about some really cool projects he has going on. The book of the episode is going to be The Practicing Stoic, a philosophical user's manual by Ward Farnsworth. I believe I've made this book of the episode before, but I wanted to revisit it. I actually gave Anthony a copy of Meditations from Marcus Aurelius during the episode, so I thought it went with the theme. He talks about Marcus Aurelius and the works of several other Stoics across the years in this book, so it's worth another visit. The Practicing Stoic by Ward Farnsworth. If you want to listen to the podcast, be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to watch the podcast, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@thesamdeverpodcast. Here's my conversation with Anthony.
That's one thing when I watched your podcast, you seem like a guy that's super hungry just to learn. And especially with the Wolf one, which was you're doing the second one with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it's coming out soon.
And you have him here.
Dude, sitting it from the get-go. Wolf just ripped it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that guy so much.
Isn't he amazing?
He's amazing. Best acting coach I ever had. And like Playhouse West in general, like I feel like it's like Navy SEAL boot camp. It's like anything you learned beforehand, it's out the door. They're rebuilding you in their own image. And like I spent 8 months in beginner, never picked up a script. And like I'm so proud of that they taught you how to do the thing before even touching the script. I remember Chris Levy would always say, you don't hand a violinist a music sheet and just say start playing. You know, you teach them all the chords and whatnot and where you put your fingers, and that's exactly what repetition is and doors and activities. So yeah, there's nothing but great things to say about that place.
And so you had Chris too?
I had Chris. Yeah. And God bless his soul, because those 7-8 months of being a beginner, it was me going up and going, Anthony, what are you doing? Please, no. And I kept going back, but and then Wolf took over because Chris had to go back to Switzerland.
Yep.
And that was an amazing experience too. And then I got a little bit of Froy. I did Froy and Wolf intermediate, and yeah, man, still going. I just came up on 2 years. So
wow,
2 years,
nice, congratulations.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in beginning, man, like I never thought I was going to get out.
Wait, how long did you spend in beginning?
6 months. It was 6 months, but dude, it felt like 3 years.
Yeah.
And I hit that beginner wall where, you know, you get that momentum in the beginning of like, okay, now come in and bring this. But when you got to doors and activity, deep meaning on both, that's where things changed quick for me.
For you? Yeah.
I would say this with Wolf right here. I remember one time, I brought an activity up, and within 30 seconds, Wolf's just like, "What are you doing here?"
It ain't hard enough.
And then he's like, "Bring it back next week."
Yeah.
Like, I just got pulled off stage.
He knows, man. He knows.
They know, man. But but to your point, and Daryl Morris, who actually was my acting coach in Vegas, who went to Playhouse West,
really,
that's what he would say. He called it the Marines. Like
the Marines,
Playhouse West is like no joke, and he was 110% correct.
It's like another way to describe it is like a Taekwondo instructor. Like it is like, and like another thing Chris said when I first got there, like you think a pilot shows up. What if he went to flight school and he showed up late? Like what do you think he's gonna? What would they say to him? Like you guys can't show up late here. This is like if a pilot showed up late to flight school. That's not a good look, and you should treat it the same exact way. Not to rant about Playhouse West. You can see I love it so much, and that's why like they all dress nice. They all dress, you know. Chris wears a suit. Christian was wearing a suit today when he subbed, because they take it seriously. And it's I know in Russia, John Bernthal talked about this on a podcast. In Russia, the teachers are the most respected people in the acting world because
interesting.
It takes a specific person to be a teacher in the acting realm. So,
and how did you find Playhouse West? How did that all come about?
So it's a good story. When I got to LA, I knew I needed to get into a class right away. So I audited like 4 classes that were all around town, Playhouse being one of them. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pick from these 4. And then during that time, I was doing a short film, and this woman was playing my mother, and we got on set together, and it's this dramatic scene, and her and I, we're chopping it up beforehand, talking to each other, getting to know each other. And she started raving about Meisner and repetition and connection. And I don't know what the hell she's talking about. And I'm like, oh, this sounds really interesting. And then we did the scene together, and she tells me she has cancer, and I cried.
Whoa.
And I'm like, oh my God, this must be because she was doing this Meisner thing that she was talking about, and she put it on me, and it made me cry. This is Jesus. I need to do this. And so I was leaning towards one class, and then I'm like, no, I gotta do this Playhouse West school that does Meisner. This is a sign. So the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So how soon since you had moved, did you move straight from Vegas to LA?
No, I was in Santa Barbara beforehand.
Oh, Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
3 years, yeah.
Were you going to school out there? Or just...
Yeah, school out there. I played college baseball out there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so got a scholarship to do that, and then blew out my shoulder.
Ooh.
I tore my labrum, and I had 2 stem cell injections, one from a pregnant woman's umbilical cord. One, they drilled into my pelvis while I was awake and sucked out the bone marrow and then shot into my shoulder. And then I got a cortisone shot, and then I finally got surgery, and then, it just never worked. So they took my scholarship away, couldn't go to school. And so I had to transfer schools, and I live with my best friends who I still live with today. We're kind of coming up on 5 years together. They're in the music industry. I'm an actor, and we knew we needed to make it to LA. So we came down here together.
And were you into acting while you were playing baseball, or is this more something you found after sports?
I did high school plays. I did these YouTube videos of like little short funny videos of like used car salesmen, reckless real estate, I called it. It's like a sleazy real estate agent. And I was getting a lot of traction on YouTube with, a lot of good responses from people, getting a little bit of a following, nothing crazy. And I thought to myself, like, what if I really took this thing seriously? And so I deleted every video, and I'm like, screw this. I don't want to be known, no.
Not as the reckless real estate guy?
Yeah. I don't want I don't want to go the social media route. I wanted to go the actual actor route. So there was just one day where I was just like, let's do this thing.
Wow.
So yeah.
I'm just curious. How did you like living in Santa Barbara?
Oh,
dude, isn't that place like?
Dude. Do you go often?
I used to go a lot just through work, but my girlfriend and I we stayed a weekend not too long ago. It's like It was my first time going recreationally.
Oh, okay.
And
what
enjoying,
do you mean
not for work.
Not for work. Okay.
Like I was there for pleasure or whatever.
Where'd you guys stay?
We stayed at the Ramada Inn.
On by State Street, like downtown?
It wasn't far.
Okay.
It was not far from there. But yeah, we ended up going down to the wharf, eating down there.
Great.
Actually went to the Mission.
Yeah.
The old courthouse was nice, like going
Yeah.
through there and just the architect. It's just a vibe. And then we went to State Street Art Museum down there.
It's got a lot of culture there and like a lot of historical stuff. I know Santa Barbara. There's all the Santa Maria, Santa Clara. Aren't those all nuns or something? Like?
Well, there's like a lot of missions.
Missions. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you went to the Mission.
Yeah, we went to the Mission and checked that out. And
it's cool.
Yeah, you just need about 10 million to
live there. Yeah,
to live there.
Exactly. Exactly. But we got so lucky on this house, me and 5 friends, during COVID. So you can imagine that household right on the water, and we had a good time. And it was with all my best friends. We had a couple girlfriends that are no longer with us. And yeah, man, it was a good time.
Was it just like a little vacay that you guys did?
No, we lived there for 3 years.
Oh, you're talking about when you lived there?
Yeah, when I lived there.
Okay.
So we had that house, and
it was an era.
It was an era. Yeah.
See, that's what Vegas was for me. Like,
okay.
So I came to Vegas right out of college, a year out of college. So I was like 23.
Right. And where'd you go to college?
Western Illinois University.
Okay. Are you from Chicago?
3 hours south of Chicago, Central Illinois area.
Okay.
Like Peoria, Illinois. Peoria, Illinois
No.
area. It's like in the middle of the state. In between, it's a small town called Canton, in between Chicago, St. Louis, and played 2 years of junior college basketball.
Oh, okay,
At
sweet.
Spoon River College,
Okay,
coincidentally.
cool. Sweet. Okay,
Spoon River.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, and then I'm from I am from actual Spoon River. I went to Spoon River College.
All right,
that
so
book.
You're destined for this.
That's why when they had Spoon River anthology in Playhouse, I'm like, wait, are they talking about like?
Wait, yeah. Does that
the-
originate from anywhere?
Yeah, like where I'm from.
Really?
Like, yeah. It's,
Spoon River.
Edward Lead Masters was like, oh, he's talking about these stories are from like where in the area of where I'm from, like in the general vicinity. Like,
Okay.
So yeah, that's why it's crazy. Like I never would have thought back then, going then, that I would come out to Los Angeles and then have that connection.
With
that.
it. That's nice. That's nice.
So that's dope. But so yeah, my buddies were in Tucson, Arizona. When I graduated, they had some time left to go. Hey, do you want to come out to Arizona? I'm like, yep, I'm done with snow. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I always had like West Coast dreams, all that.
Of course.
And then a buddy from Tucson, we moved to Vegas, Henderson.
Right.
A year after I was in Tucson, and dude, I call it my grad school because I was just in that mind frame, and we didn't know what to do when I moved to Vegas. It's like, well, what do we do? Well, we go to the Strip.
Right, of course.
And dude, I really feel like we caught the end of the like free parking.
Wait, what years?
This would have been 2010.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm 36. So this was back when I was GGs. So just to paint a little bit of the picture, we'll get back to you. But it's we would go, and rooms were dirt cheap.
Right.
All you did was put a few bucks into the machine, free drinks.
Yeah.
That's all we did, and we got to know all the club people, and be going out to the club during the week all week. I was into music big time during that phase, and the DJ scene was picking up, and it was a magical time. Time I'm lucky to have survived.
Yeah, dude, I know. I bet being a local, cause I never got to experience it in Vegas because when I turned 21, I was already in California.
You were already in California.
Yeah.
And plus, you grew up out there, so you're just like,
Yeah, it's that thing of like when it's right in front of you, it's like, eh. And a lot of the parents worked on the Strip, and they were my mom. She's from Long Island, New York, and she got an internship at the MGM. She was like one of a few people to come out and help. I don't know, open the MGM or keep it running at least. But yeah, I never got to experience it. But like all my hometown buddies are still there, and they're living it up down there. And
do you go back often?
When I was in Santa Barbara, I did. Now that I'm in LA and I'm busy doing stuff, not as much. But I'm actually going back in 2 weeks, just 4 days, kick back, hang out with the family. And
when you go, you just chill in Henderson, pretty much.
Yeah.
Don't even touch the Strip.
No, none of that. No, go on long walks with my mom, order some Uber Eats, and hang out. Be a kid again. You're back home with your parents.
I actually got to shout out a Henderson restaurant favorite.
Oh, what?
Shout out also to KG, Mo, and Kalila. Whenever I go back, we call it like the Henderson Supper Club because all my friends live in Henderson.
Right.
That were out with me then.
What's it called?
Blue. We call it the Henderson Supper Club.
Okay.
But Bluefin Sushi, man, off of Sunset and kind of like Sunset Pecos area a little bit.
Okay.
All you can eat sushi, like 30 phenomenal.
It's bomb,
dude.
Blue what?
Bluefin Sushi.
Oh, we're gonna go there because my mom loves sushi. Oops.
Yeah, get the all you can eat.
Okay, deal.
So you heard it here.
Bluefin.
And I will say this, man, there's nothing like a good Vegas sunset either.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've seen the sunsets at the ocean. Yeah, they're great, they're beautiful. But there's something about when the sunset hits
on the mountains.
Like that.
Yeah, in the desert. And you got the whole Vegas Valley, it's all reflecting off of each other. You're surrounded by mountains. It's good.
And that's it. It's cool to talk to you because you're from there, but it's like everyone says, like, how could you ever live in Vegas? It's like, well, there's a whole world.
No, it's
outside
awesome.
of there.
It's awesome, and I have a friend that's actually thinking about moving to Vegas that lives in LA, and I'm like, dude, it's booming right now. I mean, we're about to get the A's. We just got the Raiders. The Golden Knights just won Stanley Cup, and
Aces won.
Aces won, yeah. And it's awesome, and it's one of the biggest growing cities. I know that. In the suburbs, it's cool, man, and you don't have to think of Vegas when you live in Vegas. You can live in it's like kind of Cali vibe, kind of Midwest vibe, and they had a baby. And it's
with a little bit of Arizona.
With a little Arizona, yeah. So
no, you're right, and I'll tell you what, man. Every time I go back, and my brother lives there still, and everything. It's like so I go back quite often too, and every time I'm there, there's a new building going up.
Yeah.
Every time. And even they built that new station casino off of like the south.
Did they?
West Durango,
Okay.
or the Durango Station Casino now, and even the Henderson area is just,
Henderson's huge,
it's just
dude.
exploding like crazy.
It's good. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think LA though, like California though, I think now that I got out of my phase of the nightlife and all that, like, so when I came here, it was like, oh, we're going down to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, you get burnt out, you know. And yeah, Vegas will do that to you. So.
Yeah. So you've been in LA then for how many years again?
I just came up on 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
September was 2 years. Or we're in September. We're in
September.
So yeah, and you know, first few months, 6 months, maybe even a year, I did not like it. I was like, I don't know what this place is and what these people are on. But and then as time went on, I kind of got a vibe of what's going on and, you know, and why I'm out here. And I always say, I did a lot of acting in Santa Barbara, did a lot of commuting back and forth. But now I really feel like an actor being in LA now that I'm here. But this last year, man, I really I'm getting in the groove. I really like the place I live in a house with my buddies, all pursuing our dreams, and it's awesome. It's a blessing. It's cool.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had a really good California experience.
Yeah.
I mean, starting off in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I know. And we go back often. We got one of our best friends that lived in the house, Seth. Shout out Seth. He still lives up there, so we go back.
And you guys were right by the ocean.
Right by the ocean, man. It was a great time. And
was it UC Santa Barbara? Is that where you were?
No, we went to Westmont. We all met at Westmont College. 2,000 students, liberal arts school in the mountains in Montecito, right by Oprah Winfrey's house.
Oh, you were in Montecito.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where like all the billionaires.
Yeah. I know.
Ellen, Oprah.
Ellen and Oprah.
I think Prince Harry and them live over there.
Yep. And Orlando Bloom and Katie, I think they were married at one point. They were there. People would say they'd see him walking on the beach, but yeah, it was a beautiful area. Good time. Super blessed, man. You know, just thinking back on it and talking about it, it's like, damn, yeah. You
kind of make me want to go up to Santa Barbara. Yeah. My girlfriend are actually going to a wedding. I forget it's by Solvang. It's like that Danish town, Dutch town.
Oh, dude, have you been there?
I haven't been there.
Dude, you're gonna have so much freaking. It's awesome.
So you've been there?
Yeah, and you're an actor. You're gonna. You know, actors are like they appreciate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the artsiness of it.
It's weird, bro. It's a good weird. Yeah.
And then when I met you, I had jumped back into class.
Yeah.
At Playhouse West, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, man. But I'm telling you what, man. Like from the moment I saw you, I think the first thing I ever saw you do was a fantasy. You were working on the Orange Water Flower scene, which was crazy because that's the name of the play.
Yeah, Orange Flower Water. Yeah,
Orange Flower Water. I had done a scene from that way back before COVID hit, so I knew that play. I was playing the other guy.
And and with the girl, was it a girl-guy scene or the guy-guy scene?
Girl-guy.
Okay.
And she has left to be with me.
Yeah.
And we were looking at a house at the
that's the last scene.
That's the last scene. And but I really loved that place. When I saw you do, I'm like, oh, he's doing that. And like I really just watched you work, man. You had a presence to you, and I could tell you take it really serious.
Thanks,
like you
man.
really. And then when I got to see you live out that scene, I'm like, man, that is nice.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was a fun time, and great scene partner Marilyn Bass, and that was the first scene night we did with Wolf. So we were scrubs during that, and it was fun, man. And don't get me started on acting. The blocking and the ebb and flow of it, and we didn't want it to be basic, you know, go get a drink of whiskey and walk over here and walk over there. Like we really wanted to get some oomph behind it with our blocking, and so it can really pinch us for those moments to have that high energy. We're not pre-planning high energy, but it's at least pinch something out of us. But yeah, it was a pleasure, and first time in a long time also performing in front of a crowd. So that it's cool. And the theater versus film, it's
nothing
apples
like
and
it.
oranges. It's totally different energies. And all my buddies, all my best friends I spoke about earlier, they all came, and they really haven't seen me act. And they saw me get up, and I'm usually just fun, nice guy. And, I'm just super mad, pissed off guy that just hadn't found out his wife was cheating on him. And they were like, it was just so funny to see like dudes that, they like movies, but they don't really know anything about the acting world. And they were just like, what the fuck did I just watch? And that was my friend up there.
And especially watch that scene.
Yeah, that scene too. Yeah, so it was cool, man. It was cool. And shout out to Wolf again. We talked about, I could go on about it, dude. It was a great time.
Yeah, and a Voyager tape. I remember I watched you do a Voyager tape. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so now leading up to present day here, you are in a film called Third Wheel. Tell me about that experience.
So Third Wheel came about last maybe late June, early July. I got a message on Backstage, and never sleep on Backstage. There's always great things on Backstage. I know it gets a lot of heat. But this guy reached out named Blake Tamarkin, and he said, hey, man, I'm shooting a movie out in Chicago, and I really like your look. I like your reel. Reach out to me. I'd like to, talk further, have you audition for something. And, we're shooting a movie in Chicago starting in August, so it was like a month away. I'm like, all right, I don't trust this guy. Who is this guy? This is too good to be true. Some guy just reaching out to me personally.
And this is a year ago, August.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like, sure, why not? And we talk on the phone a few times, and then he just has me come to a table read. Everybody's casted in the film already. It's a big cast, and there had been 20 people on the Zoom call. Read the script, loved the script, got on, and did the read. And then he called me the next morning. He was like, dude, we love you. And we thought, you were great. And, and we met in person, I think, right after that. And we met at Barney's Beanery, the infamous Barney's Beanery, at 11 a.m. on like a Friday morning. And we just chopped it up and talked about the character, talked about the movie, got to know each other better. And next thing you know, a month later, I prepped like a freaking madman for a month. Just, doing all Wolf's things, all the fantasies, all the Voyagers, timelining the whole thing, the basics, figuring out who this guy is and, how we're going to make this awesome. And we went out there, and we were out there for a month, 30 days, indie filmmaking, man, 6 days a week, 10, 12 hours, probably the funnest, most awesome time I've ever had in my life. It was the coolest thing. Met the coolest people, all Chicago locals, and Blake's from Chicago, and his family's from Chicago, and so he had, I feel like I was in the mob. There was like people. This guy picked me up, and he knew this guy, and we knew a guy, and he knew a guy who knew a guy who got the car that we drove, and the house we were in. He knew a guy. The amount of favors called in, and that's like a good thing for young filmmakers. It's like, use your people. I mean, not use, but like, call in your favors. And, if I ever went out and made a film, I'd really consider thinking of Vegas, And that's what he did. And he was smart about it. And that's what, first time filmmakers do.
Was this his first feature film?
First feature. So he's done like 3 documentaries. Couple of them, 2 of them are on Hulu. I don't remember the names of them, but, and Blake and I, we're best friends now. It's like Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. He's my man. I love him. So,
and I can't wait to see it because, like I was telling you, like from what I've seen, the clips and the trailers and things like that, it's very enticing. Like it's very first of all, it looks just very well shot. The music selections, and it just like even what we were just watching before we started here, it just looks like some really real moments.
Awesome, man. Good.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's about or the premise of it?
It's Third Wheel. It's about a guy who's madly in love with a woman, and she's his life, and she cheats on him, and it's about what happens after that. And we've all heard the cheating story before, and I heard a great quote. We're all just trying to tell the same story, but in different ways. And this is Blake also wrote it. This is his version of the breakup story and what's to come of it. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to, give away too much, but in his third wheel, and he grabs onto some people around him and they bring him back to life, and it's pretty cool. It's a cool thing. Yeah, man. And we're really excited. We're really excited for it.
And you guys are showing it at different festivals right now, or different showings, or
what? Yeah, right now we've done Los Angeles. We've done they're invitational screenings. We can't say premieres because that disqualifies you from festivals.
Gotcha.
So we've done one in LA, which was great. Sold it out. Did one in San Francisco, and then we have our one in Chicago, October 14th, and then we're gonna be doing one in Arizona, I think, right after that, and maybe one more in LA after that. And those are just the invitational screenings. They're test screenings too. Blake's taking notes, watching it. We've done a couple of screenings. We've gotten feedback. And I'm really, Blake and I have kind of just fell into this relationship of like, this isn't me acting in your project and dipping out. Like I'm really invested on, and I love Blake, and like we've just developed a great friendship, and I really want this to be awesome too. So I've been in the editing room multiple times, and I'm right there by his side. He does a lot of the freaking work, but it's like it's my baby too in a way, and it's my first lead in a feature. And,
right.
So you get attached to it.
So what did you learn after that experience?
What did I learn after it?
I'm sure you're still learning as you're getting out there with it, but that month in Chicago.
Okay, the first thing that came to my mind when you said that, it's not what happened in Chicago, but maybe like 6 months after, I started going into the editing room with Blake. And so I got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of all the takes, and especially of me. And it's hard as an actor to watch that, and it was just a really cool learning experience. A lot of actors don't get to get, where I got to sit in and like think back to those moments and like watch that take out and be like, oh yeah, I remember what I was thinking when I was about to do this, and it didn't work, or it did work, or like, oh, I pushed right there and I remember that, and look how it turned out. And it was just really interesting to take notes on that. And my conclusion is the obvious. When you push, you get in your head, it shows every time. Every time. And I was just on set for a commercial, and the director said, this goes with it hand in hand. The director said, if you can think it, I can see it. And I think that's what I learned. That's what I learned when I get in that editing room, and I'm like, that is freaking genius. And
that's a good one.
Yeah, right? Isn't that dope?
I've never heard that put that way.
I know. I was on this commercial, and he's talking to this little kid, this actor, and he's like, the little kid's being all big, and they're young, they don't understand. And he's like, if you think it, I can see it. And I was like, damn, that was sick.
And you're like,
yeah. No, I wrote up my notes, I swear. Yeah. So it was cool, man.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm excited to see this. And you said you guys might do another LA one?
Yeah, another LA one, and you'll be invited to that. But if not, once we hit the festivals,
for sure,
we'll definitely have something in LA.
Yeah, just really, I don't know, like when you see just seeing the clips, it's just very interesting.
Yeah,
it looks like it was very artistically shot.
Thanks, man. Yeah, well,
I don't know if that makes any sense, but like it looks like Blake is his
Blake.
name. Did he do the cinematography too, or did he just direct?
He hired a guy for that.
But just can tell that they had a vision with this.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, I want to watch that.
That's so nice of you to say, man.
Yeah.
And I think that was all Blake, and he's a freaking genius. And you should have him on. He's the man, dude. He
lives in LA too.
Lives in LA.
Gotcha.
Encinitas. What is it called? Encinita. Where is it?
Encinitas?
Yes.
Like San Diego?
No. What's the area?
Encino.
Thank you, Eric. Gosh. All right.
There's a lot of similar names out here.
Something like that. California.
So he's in the valley.
Yeah, exactly.
Not far.
Yeah. So, he had a vision, man, and his inspirations for the movie, it was a lot of When Harry Met Sally, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Swingers, and if you think of that, you can kind of see it in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, these inspirations, and it's cool.
You think it'll be one of those cult following type movies?
Dude,
like,
I really hope, man.
Yeah, because that's what it. I don't know, and then credit to you too, man, because it's
Thank
like you, like I said, like I was drawn to watching you on stage the first time I ever saw
man.
you, like, and so like in seeing just the clips I've seen you in this, man,
Awesome.
It looks like some real moments right there.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude. It's a journey, man. Yeah, we're excited. We're excited, and we're excited for the next one. We already got one in the works between the both of us. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you just shot a commercial.
So I just
please tell me about that.
Yeah. 150 commercial auditions over the last 2 years. Never heard a single word from a single one of them. And then I got a call back on this one. Didn't think much of it. Just another commercial. I didn't, I'm not a big commercial audition fan. And I got a call back. Apparently they like what they saw. And I ended up going to Miami for 2 weeks, getting on a cruise ship for 7 days, Carnival Cruise Line. And I shot a commercial with Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow.
Yeah. And the premise was kind of Carnival Cruise Lines. And we went on a real cruise with there's 6,000 people on the cruise. Went to Honduras and 2 places in Mexico. And the premise of the commercial is, look what all the cool things you can do on a cruise. And so we went on a catamaran, like a 50-person boat out in the middle of the Mexican Gulf, and 500 feet offshore, like crystal clear water. And they had me and my girlfriend in it jump off the boat into the water about 15 times, and they got footage of that, running in the sand in Honduras. There's a roller coaster on the cruise itself, and they had me strapped into that thing on the top, super high up in the air. 20 times I went around this roller coaster, didn't get off, and they were just trying to get this one shot of me just flying around it. And then it was fun. Yeah.
Do you like roller coasters?
I know
I'd be done about the first lap.
Yeah. Dude, the first couple, I was like, this sucks. And then by the third time, fourth time, I kind of just got used to it. And
yeah.
I made it happen. It worked. And it was awesome. And there was like 10 people in the 10 cast members. Big crew, great freaking people, so professional. And yeah, it was cool, man. It was great. It was great.
And so where does Shaq come into play in all
So
this?
Shaq comes into play. So we did a week on the cruise, and then we had to stay in Miami for an extra week because we had to work around Shaquille O'Neal's schedule. He didn't want to go on the cruise, obviously. And he could only do it a week from when we got off the ship. Excuse me. They don't like when you call it a boat.
Oh.
And so we just had to hang out in Miami for 6 days, 5 days until Shaq was ready, because we, all works around his schedule. And then we met in a parking lot on the beach in Miami, and Shaquille O'Neal came, and we threw up a giant green screen, and we had this conversation between the family and Shaquille O'Neal, and he's saying, how did you guys have fun? And how, and like, did you lovebirds have fun? And it's my girlfriend and I. And then we flash back to the moment where, we're on the roller coaster together, or we're jumping off the boat together. And, so the advertisement, you can kind of get the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the funny part is it didn't work when we shot it that last day in Miami. It something happened. I don't know what. So we all got back to LA, and we get a email from the production people, and they're like, hey, we got to reshoot Shaquille O'Neal scenes. Are you guys available for these dates? And they were just this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And he was in Vegas. I think he lives there. And,
yeah, I've heard he has at least a house there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so I couldn't go because I'm shooting another feature right now, and I was supposed to be shooting those days. So I said I wasn't available, just hoping they'd change him. But everything revolves around Shaquille's schedule. So a few of the other people, or just a couple of the other cast members, went out there, and they got it done. They were sending me pictures, and I was super jealous because they were with them again. And He like rode up on a motorcycle, I guess, and he had his JBL in his hand. He was dancing around, dude.
Shaq just seems like the coolest guy.
He's the man.
Ever. Yeah. He does everything.
He does
too.
everything. He's awesome.
Everything.
And he invited everyone to his DJ set that night.
Oh my gosh, DJ Diesel.
DJ Diesel, yeah. That's what I said in the callback or in the audition. I was like DJ Diesel, and I was just like, I hope people get this when I say this.
So you still will have a scene with him.
Yeah, they're gonna cheat it. Yeah. So it'll be.
So he was really only there for a day. Another day.
Yeah. So. But,
and what did you do in Miami for the 5 days when you were waiting around?
What did I do?
Did you have to do stuff for the commercial? Or
we did one day with rehearsal. But I just hung around and ate food, and I just hung around, went to the gym.
Is Miami sweet?
It's awesome.
I've been through the airport, but I've never been in like the city.
Yeah. It's awesome. Kind of got an LA vibe, but like that nightlife, flashy lifestyle. I had gone there with my buddies for spring break a couple years prior, so I was kind of familiar with the vibe. But yeah, it was a good time. It was good, and yeah, just hung out. Went to a museum, got super close with all the cast members, and it was great, man. And I'm so thankful for it. And I look at it like, yeah, I did those 150 auditions for 2 years before that, but that all was the payoff right there. Like I booked that commercial, and I got to have that experience of a lifetime. And like I miss it already, and it was awesome, so awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's key. I mean, look, 150 before you got a yes, like that puts things in perspective.
Yeah,
right
and that's
there.
just commercial. And don't get me started on theatrical. So. But
look, man, you did a major commercial, and now you've done a major movie, like a lead in a feature film.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you're an actor, dude.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. It feels good, man. Yeah.
Did you ever envision this when you were in Santa Barbara or even in Las Vegas?
When I was there, I just knew I had to go. I had to just get to freaking work. One thing that always centers me nowadays, and my dad always reminds me of it, is the little kid, and like my dad always says the little kid, but I say the 17-year-old me. If he knew what you were doing, would he be happy? And I think he would. And I base a lot of, like self-reflection off that. My dad always reminds me, since you were a little kid, you wanted to get out to LA and just be in California and be by the beach, and I'm here. And then to top it off with the acting going on. And so, yeah, it's cool. And I got a long ways to go. You get something and you're longing for getting, booking that part or whatever, and you get it and you do it and you're so happy and it's awesome. But the day after it's over, you're like, honestly, that's the human condition. You're like, all right, what's next? I don't even care about that thing anymore. What's next? It was always like, and I'm a big goal setter, put it on my wall, look at it every day. And I remember like when I first moved to LA, like I was like, I just want to book a feature, and I booked like a $5,000 no pay feature that I did, and I don't even want to talk about it. But like that was like I just wanted to do that so bad, and like if I could just get that, man, it'd be perfect. I'd be so damn happy. And then like now where I am now, I'm not trying to brag, but now I'm where I'm at, and I'm like I don't even care about that anymore. That was something that I like worshiped for so long, to like just have something, and now it's like you're always going after the next thing. And it's like, I guess it's part of growing up. Like it's never enough. You get the thing that you want. I got the girl, I got the money, I got the role, and next day it's over.
Yeah.
And you ever feel that?
Oh, dude. I mean, that's a great insight you just brought up. It just, it's never enough, like you said. And
right.
As corny as it is and as cliche as it is,
give it to me.
It really is about the journey, not the destination. Dude. And I'm reminding because there's nothing else. Like we come up with these things in our head. When I get to here, everything's going to be great. But then you get to that moment. And I've told this story 1,000 times on this podcast. And again, this is here. I don't know how true or not true this is, but I heard when Matt Damon, and you can apply this to anything, whether it's acting, business, anything. So Matt Damon, him and Affleck, I believe, won Oscars for the writing for Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
I think he was like 27, 28 years old. And he said he'll never forget that night coming home from the Oscars. And I think his girlfriend like went to bed or something. And he was just watching TV and the Oscar was sitting on his coffee table in his apartment. And he looked at it and realized like, oh, it's just okay. Well, that was,
oh, dude.
So it's like, but he said it was one of the best things that ever happened to him because it showed him. And yeah, is it wrong to want those things and go, no, but it's like, it's not all about that. Not, that for him to get it early enough showed him. And I've started to realize that too. It's just, it's never going to be enough. There's never going to be this magic moment of, aha.
Yeah.
Everything's the way it's supposed to be. Like life's always going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, no matter how much money you get, sure, you're going to it'll take care of some things you don't have to worry about. There's going to be new problems. There's going to be new anxieties. New, good book, Subtle Art of Not Giving a F.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Madsen, he talks about good problems and bad problems.
Right.
He's like, going to the gym to work out, it's hard work. You got to do it, but that's a good problem.
Ooh, I like that.
Getting into bad health and letting your health decline, that's a bad problem. But you avoid that by the good problem.
Right.
So it's you're having that insight early on, and that's probably good, man, that you at least recognize that.
Yes, and recognizing. I don't know how the hell I'm going to navigate it, but at least I'm recognizing that. I think I'll be more joyful and happy once I kind of get a grip on the enjoying the journey part. Because a lot of the days are just being an actor out here. You're an actor. Shia LaBeouf said in an interview once, I forget the word, but it's like your worth is equated to what you accomplish. Like I forget the word. But that's what acting is, or like that's at least a lot of things I feel like actors fall into. I didn't book it, or I'm not, the big star, so I'm nothing. And I've fallen that almost every day. And that's just not the right way to think. And I think it's more beneficial to obviously not think that way, but to enjoy the process. I think your work will be better. You'll be more happy in your life. Your relationships will be better. Yeah, man. So
and I have to remind myself of this, like being present. And they talk about a Playhouse. That's what's crazy.
Yes.
I didn't even realize it till I was, because I had done 2 years, then COVID hit. Yeah. Then I had a leg injury, and then I stay close. I love going and watching everybody, and I realized I'm like, man, Sandy Meisner really had it down. Like, not just for acting, but for life. It really is. This is it right now. You and I talking, like, there's nothing, man. There's nothing else.
Nothing else.
Sure, we're going to put it on the internet. Maybe some people will watch it, but it's about the experience. And like, even when you made your movie, man. The Third Wheel, or even the commercial you shot. Yeah, you're going to see the end result, and people, but the best part of that's going to be probably those moments you were having making those things.
Dude, great. Good on you, honey boy. That's true, man. Even this, like, that's a good way to put it. It's like I told you earlier when I was nervous to come in, I'm shaking because I'm worried about the cameras. No, I'm here to talk to Sam. We're talking. These mics aren't here.
There's nothing else is here. They're just
your business, bro.
Yeah.
You're right, bro.
This is how we'd be talking if we were talking outside of a show you were doing. Like
exactly. Yeah.
So I think, and I have to. I'm glad we're talking about this because it reminds me too. And I don't know, man, the way everything's set up now. Look, there's nothing wrong with being ambitious and going things, but with social media, it's like in everyone's face constantly.
Yeah.
Like trying to outdo each other. Yeah. Oh, that person has a great life. I don't.
Right. Yeah. It's dangerous.
So you really do have to enjoy the ride. And I've heard multiple people tell me that in several different industries outside of the arts. It's like, you just really got to enjoy stuff. Cause I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're all going.
Yeah.
We're all gonna depart.
I know, bro. Oh God.
Yeah. So, I don't know if we want to go that route, but but yeah, I'd say, man, I'd say you're off to a good start out here.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Not too many people can say that you've been out here 2 years, almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. I don't think many people can say that they had booked that's a major commercial that you shot, and then a lead, not only a lead feature, and I have not seen it yet, but a lead feature in a very high quality feature film. Yeah. Like, that's huge, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy, and we're gonna keep it going, keep the ball rolling. I'm doing another feature right now with I had a mustache for it, and I had to shave it for the Carnival Cruise, but we're gonna start it back up next the 19th. It's called Driver Ed. It's a psychological thriller. It's got Fight Club and Taxi Driver energy coming out of it. And it's about a lonesome Uber driver who's just in love with his work. It's his passion. It's his everything. And he develops this obsession over this woman. And kind of this is how Wolf broke it down to me. Dan, like Wolf and I, we spent 100 hours breaking this script down.
He's working with you on this.
Yeah, him in the winter, we worked a lot on it. The damsel in distress story. Princess, Knight. Bad guy is her boyfriend. Knight must save Princess. And you know, that's just like it's such a Wolf way of breaking it down. It's like he's so like, I don't want to say black and white, but like you do your point of view, you find out who's the doer, you do your fantasies, you do your voyagers, and you show up and you forget everything. Like it's just very ba ba ba, and that's good for a guy like me. Like just do this and just show up, kid. But anyways, yeah, doing that. And there's a twist in it. I don't want to give it away, but it's got Fight Club energy, if you know what I mean. But
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Great book,
movie.
too.
Oh, yeah? Is it better than the movie?
You know what? You know what's crazy? Usually books are better than the movie, but this is one I'd say, I can't say one's better than the other, but it's one of those where the movie, it's up there with the book. They're both phenomenal. Good. When you got Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, I mean, those two.
You can't go wrong. And David Lynch, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know the director. But yeah.
Did he direct? He might actually. That's going to drive me crazy if I don't look that up. Definitely read the book too, because the book's really great as well. Mm-hmm. So, how long will you be filming that?
So that I was gonna. That's been a little bit all over the place. We've done a lot of. It's 4 weeks.
David Fincher.
What did I
Directed Fight Club.
Directed Fight Club.
I said David Lynch.
Yes, there you go. It's 4 weeks total, but it's been kind of spread out over the summer. 3 days here, 2 days there. You know, it's indie filmmaking, getting different locations and whatnot. And we're on day, I forget what day we're on, but we only have like 5 or so left, maybe more.
You're filming all out here in LA.
Yeah,
area.
all out in LA. A lot of car stuff, a lot of in a van because he's an Uber driver. And yeah, it's fun time. It's good. And I really got to. By then I had this was before prepping for Third Wheel. By then I had gotten all my tools from Wolf and how to do it, all the advanced tools. So I was really able to put that to work on this character, and really build a life in the fantasies and we really did we just got a giant corkboard. And we pretty much gave a timeline from birth until the moment the movie starts. And we gave index cards and we wrote this whole thing. And yeah, it's super cool. It's super cool. And I'm super excited for everyone to see that too. And that'll be out hopefully in spring.
Thanks. You're staying busy.
Yeah. It's good. And that dude, and back to backstage and back to the backstage, I self-submitted to that.
So both these movies have come from this backstage.
From backstage, and I think that just goes with selling yourself. And your agents and managers are great, and they give me great stuff. But you gotta push for yourself too.
So you're out there trying to get your own stuff too, outside of management,
and just emailing on my own, emailing the indie filmmakers directly to them. Yeah, people might judge me for that, but I email, smaller. They got 1 feature, 2 features, and they're about to do the next, and because they're going to be the next Tarantino's one day, So if we get around enough of them, who knows what could happen? And yeah. So
how much of it? Because what I think. Because the more as I'm getting to know, it's very. You are an actor, and I'm not. I don't mean that to sound like. Well, duh, but
right.
But no, man, you are fully immersed, completely in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
too much,
stage, commercials, feature film, like you are in it, and you are progressing in it and moving along nicely. And one thing I didn't realize, when I came here from Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm like, oh, you just go to LA and you just start doing stuff.
Right.
But it's like, I had some people sit me down and say, hey, man, there's like a whole business to this. Like,
I know.
You gotta, first of all, you gotta get good at acting. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, okay, maybe now you can start getting some really good headshots.
Right.
That's a whole thing. You got to find out what type your type. I'm like, type? What do you mean type?
Do you know your type?
You know what? I'm more of a character, I would say.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I would assume leading man.
Yeah,
type,
more leading man.
but not that you couldn't be.
But like, I don't even know.
Christopher Walken is what like someone told me to go after.
Dude, yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, kind of like, kind of like maybe not the lead role, but hey, that guy was interesting in that.
Every time he comes on screen, you're like, oh shit, he's back. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's back. He's only in for a couple scenes,
but he's freaking sick.
Yeah. But but just the whole process of okay, once you get all this package together, you gotta get your IMBD, and I'm just like, holy cow, dude. I had no idea, and then. Dude. The whole trying to get managers and agents. And I talked to a guy, no joke.
Yeah.
He said he waited 5 years before he even pursued any of it because he just wanted to get to a certain level.
Pursued any what? The business side?
The business side.
So you got good at acting first.
Yes.
Okay.
Emailed people for 4 years. 4 years. 2,000 emails, he said. He finally landed with someone.
Get out of here.
That worked out. But it's different for everybody, right?
Of course.
But I think that's the thing, too, about out here is like you really do have to love. Like Chris Leby said it all the time in class, like you have to really love it. And he's like, if you can make money doing something else and be happy with it, you may want to consider doing that because it's just like the amount of, I mean, like you said, 150 no's.
Yeah, no's, yeah.
But you got that, yes. It's
right.
just you gotta have that persistence. And back to what we're talking about, you really do have to enjoy the journey of it.
Yeah.
You know? And me personally, like I'm not pursuing the industry like you and others I know. It's just like that's just not what I want to do right now. But I have such a respect, and I know how much goes into it, man. Because it's not just the business side, because then you got to keep staying good.
Right.
And training. And the people that think you can just come out here, I'm like, oh, you don't need class. I'm like, yeah, good luck.
No, dude, no.
Good luck.
Yeah. And it's so much, man. You give me anxiety even just talking about it. I was like,
But you're doing good.
Yeah, there you go. But, man, it's a lot.
But you love it.
I love it, yeah. And it's like, you love the challenge. You love, getting a little taste and then,
And let me tell you, with you, it shows.
Thanks,
and I mean that as a compliment to you. I can tell you really
Thanks, brother.
Love this, man.
It really means a lot. Yeah. And, either it's going to happen or I'm going to die doing it. Or die trying,
You're already doing it.
There you go. Yeah, man. So.
I mean, how many people can say that I was a lead in a feature film?
Right.
Out of Los Angeles, and it sounds like you're gonna have multiple. You're gonna have those.
I know. I'm excited, man. So it's good, dude. And I don't know.
Heck yeah, man.
Who knows? Who knows anything? I don't know. I'm just trying, dude. I don't know.
Do you have any? Are you in class right now? Do you have any stage stuff planned?
Yeah. So I'm in Kathleen's class. I'm in Wolf's class. We just started doing nursery rhymes with Wolf. That'll
be a journey for you.
Yeah. I've had to revise it for 3 weeks straight, but
just quick interjection. That was the toughest creative thing I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
But also one of the most rewarding.
Beneficial.
So that's all I'll say.
I think you were talking about that on this podcast because I watched it. Wolf,
to this day, that nursery rhyme showcase, that was literally right before COVID.
Really?
Yeah. Man, the stories,
the story,
because there were so many layers. Just coming up with a nursery rhyme itself was ridiculously hard.
Words make sense. Yeah, and he just questions it as an audience member, and you're so biased because you're the writer. And I mean, just last night he ripped me, and not, he wasn't mean about it, but like, well, Anthony, what about this? Well, what about this? What is this? And I'm like, crap, I didn't think about it. I thought it was great, and you want to make it kind of mindless for the audience member. But and coming up, did you go to the One Act Festival or the One Act I don't know what it's called, extravaganza?
I missed that, man. That was one thing I wanted to get to. I had to go out of town for work. So
Evan and I, Evan Adams,
don't know.
He's like 20. He's 20 years old. He's my boy. I freaking love that kid. He's from Connecticut. Kid drove a school bus after high school. Drove a school bus from Connecticut to LA, and his boys dropped him off in LA. Like total actor story.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, he drove a school bus?
Yeah, with his two best friends. And they went up and worked on a dispensary.
So they owned a school bus.
Yeah. And they lived on it for a while down here, and then they kind of just split ways. Evan stayed here. Total just like actor story, Evan.
Did his buddy take the school bus?
Yeah, they took it out. Isn't that great?
That's amazing. That's a movie within itself.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm sure he's writing something about it. He's my closest buddy in the acting world. And he's a great actor, and he's a G. And we did 6-inch Adjustable. It's a play about two brothers, and they're fixing a motorcycle engine, and it's only about 30 minutes long, and they basically, their whole life unravels, and dad died, he's acting up, I'm the older brother away at school, mom gives up on him, and I have to take care of him. So that's kind of the idea of the play. And here's how genius Wolfgang Bodison is. So, Evan does his take of like, I'm going to be this rebellion younger brother, and I'm going to be the mean older brother that gets him into shape, right? And we brought it to Wolf, and we did it for him. He's like, yeah, this is cool, this is good, this is interesting. But we need something different here. We need to, make this more unique. And he had this idea of, making Evan slow, like Arnie from What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Have you seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape? With
yes,
Leo?
I have. Been a long time. And he was phenomenal in that.
Yeah, like that Johnny Depp and Leo vibe. And What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Another one's Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, special ed brother.
Yeah.
And then Tom Cruise is the fed up older brother. So Evan took this characterization and ran with it, and so it turned into this completely different story of course, obviously every single line was the same, but he had special needs. He was severely autistic, and we had the most. It was awesome, and we're gonna put it up again in October.
Oh, okay. Well, I can come see it still.
Yeah,
awesome.
And Evan and I, we had a thought a couple weeks ago. We want to put this on film and do a short film with it. So we're shopping around for a director right now. So if there's anyone else out there that would like to see it, let me know. But yeah, man.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, dude, you're just like doing it, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, it's funny, I was talking to Wolf about this, and I said this, which is his episode will be coming out soon.
Yeah. Can't wait for that, dude.
Yeah, so he was a collegiate athlete.
Yeah.
D1 football.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big time. And I think I really gravitated toward Wolf in his class too, because because I played basketball and sports and 2 years of junior college basketball. So I'd been around enough.
College. Yeah.
Sports was my life for a long time. And it's like, I felt like with Wolf, he has that like athlete mentality.
Exactly.
With it, like, except we're doing art, but it's the same thing, like the discipline, the dedication, the regimens, you treat it like a sport.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So your baseball background, do you think that has played a role in preparing you for the work ethic you have now?
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And yeah, that exactly the same thing you just said, just about. And I think that's why I love Wolf so much, is because he comes from that athletic background. The simple principle of, you don't show up late to class, or you're going to, he's going to ring, give you a new one, whatever the saying is. He'll be, and yeah, the work ethic, it's always been there just from baseball. And college sport, you gotta do school, weights, and training.
And study hall.
Study hall, yeah.
Yep.
So so you got it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's
it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job while going to school. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and Wolf's great with that.
And what position did you play in baseball?
I was a left-handed pitcher.
Oh, you're a pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when my shoulder blew out, I was
sense.
I was useless.
Are you okay now?
Okay now. Got the I have anchors in my shoulder, and then I work out, and I've never really had a problem. Just it's mobility is not as good as my right shoulder.
So you could still play a pitcher in a baseball movie.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly that.
You're waiting for that moment.
Oh yeah. So I would be a little sore, but yeah, I could definitely do that.
Did you guys? I'm just curious because I don't know the colleges as good out here. Did you guys travel like all over nationally, or was it mainly in California for your games?
West Coast. West Coast. A lot of the West Coast. We made it down to Arizona, Idaho. But man, I blew out my shoulder, and I was a lot of freshmen don't travel. So I didn't travel much. I traveled a handful of times my freshman year. Then when my shoulder blew out, I was on the DL, so I couldn't even go. So I really didn't get to experience that. But obviously all the home games and yeah. So
it's almost like that happening also like led you.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy how
life works?
You don't understand sometimes why something's happening, but it leads you to something greater than you could have ever imagined.
Dude, exactly. And like I remember being in the training room watching the game and like having my notepad and writing scripts because there's nothing else to do. I was so damn bored, being out there, and I was writing scripts, and I was pissed too about what was going on in my life. It was really difficult with my arm, and it formed into something great and cool. So yeah, man. God bless.
Yeah.
God damn. So yeah, dude. And yeah,
I'm just happy it's someone from Vegas is represented. Out here.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been a few. I know Jimmy Kimmel's from Vegas.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. Yes.
Who else is famous there? Neo's from Vegas, I believe.
Neo,
the singer.
The singer.
I believe he went to high school out there.
Yeah. Who else? I know there's a YouTuber, Rice Cake. What's his name?
Rice Cake?
Something, I don't know.
Now, a bunch of people live there now, but I don't think necessarily.
That grew up in Vegas. Yeah. And Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biagio Walsh, he's coming up in the UFC, and his brother, Nico Walsh. I hung around them a few times. We went to rival high school. They went to Gorman High School.
Gorman, Bishop Gorman.
And so they're making their way up in the fighting world right now. So, I guess technically celebrities, but and then I got another buddy, another sports guy, baseball player, Austin Wells. And in the suburb Vegas, there's a lot of we're a community. Like we're really there. Everyone knows everybody. We're family, and everyone.
It's a small town vibe for sure.
Absolutely. But Austin Wells. He's, I think, a year older than me. He just got called up to the Yankees like a couple weeks ago, and everyone's been going freaking nuts in Vegas. And my best friend's really good friends with him. So yeah, man.
That's why I've told people about Vegas too. It is even when I was back there, not too long ago, I was back having dinner with a friend, and I just how you feel someone looking at you like Sam.
Yeah.
And it's someone. Shout out to Steven Zeller, who I had worked with. Back in my early podcasting days over at UNLV and everything, and
you podcasted there?
Oh yeah. The journey started a long time ago.
How long have you been doing this?
Off and on. So it originated.
Sorry to change the story.
No,
but I gotta hear this now.
You'll be relevant because you'll understand where I'm talking about. So I started. Shout out to Jim Nico doing videography for the Social Network show.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was doing. He's just like, hey, I think you could come in and film our show. And see, this is like, there were some people doing it, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So I was it was the Breakfast Club, if you've heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's really what gave me let me see how they're doing it. So I just go in and so I did a lot of videography and social media stuff, video production with small businesses and stuff. And so I started filming their stuff, and that was going well. And then they go, hey, we want to give you a show, a platform. And so I started doing it was the Las Vegas social media show. So we did then we turned into the social media show. And it was basically, this is back when social media was just starting to really bubble and explode. So I was pretty heavily networked in the tech community.
Nice.
When downtown was
popping and doing their thing. Yeah.
And the tech scene, the startup world, we would interview a lot of people down there, different entrepreneurs and business people. But we filmed initially in Greenspun Studios.
Okay. Yeah.
At UNLV. Gotcha. Beautiful studio.
Yeah.
So and I look back, man, what a crazy opportunity that was. And then we would film on the Strip.
Really? Interviews?
Shout out to Asia Jaden, Vegas Wayne, and my brother Matt Dreads. Dude, I'll have to send you a link.
Okay.
We were kind of we would just film. We filmed EDC weekend. We filmed just people going nuts. Like, hey, what do you think about Twitter? You know, what do you? They're like Vegas.
Yeah. Oh man, interviews on the Vegas Strip.
Oh, dude,
that's good. Have you put that out there?
They're on YouTube. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, but we did conventions. We did like CES and those were
good
big.
For you, man.
So I had an era out there for sure.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I was going with any of that, but it was like,
what was it?
but the podcasting. So I had done like a lot of either behind the camera interviewing people or on camera, and then I came to LA, and I just was focusing on acting.
Yeah.
And I did Playhouse West for 2 years. COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to do a podcast and make it about no like theme, like just my name and whoever I know. That's it.
Yeah, and
not about
because that's what you love. It's
people.
like that. People. Oh God damn, Sandra, get me happy. Good for you, bro. Good for you, dude.
Yeah. So and that's why like when we were talking about doing this, it's like I mean this right here like is like, and someone put it really good. They said this is an extension of who you are. It's
yeah,
like, okay,
bro.
Anthony's someone that I connected with in LA.
Yeah.
I really admire his work. We've always had maybe not a ton of interaction, but the interaction we've had has been positive.
Right.
I'm a quality over quantity guy. So, you know, you feel a vibe. And now here we are. And it's like, well, dude, this is crazy. Like, now we're like capturing
bro,
this and putting it out.
Good for you, dude.
That's what I
and
like.
You've been at it for a while. And I was able to scroll back and it's been, you know, at least on your YouTube, it's been years.
This is episode 74.
Good for you, bro.
Yeah, man.
And I love people that care about something, you know, that they're passionate about something, and you care about this, and it's hard.
It's very hard,
dude. What are you gonna? What are you gonna do? A talk show? Like, what's the? If you could have it right now, what would it be?
Oh wow, this is amazing. I think you were meant to ask me that.
Yeah.
You want me to speak into existence?
Please.
So I've had this vision. If it's not like this, I think the podcast is a good one. But Sam. And like we got more of like a talk show type setup.
Okay.
Maybe like the old Johnny Carson.
Okay.
Type of vibe. And like part of me feels like if I was reincarnated into like, because you know I'm not pursuing acting at the moment, but I feel at home amongst the actors and artists, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, well, and that's what I realized. Like, maybe that's my role. Maybe I've been in it. I understand it.
Yeah.
I can, you know, I love it to watch it and to experience it and participate when I can. But like when I'm driving, you know, we're in Universal Cities right down there.
Yeah.
Burbank or Warner Brothers and all that.
Right.
Like, this is where it was all born.
Yeah.
Like the talk shows and all that. So I think that, and honestly, I've also had this vision too of having like an interactive experience.
How so?
So maybe the next one we do, I mean, hell, man, maybe we're in Santa Barbara on the beach and you're telling me about stuff like as we're walking, and then it cuts right back into the studio.
Oh, like kind of like you know what? You ever watch 2020? Like when Oprah Winfrey goes back to her hometown, like that kind of thing.
Exactly,
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and that's good for the freaking attention span these days. They got to see stuff, and you know that. Yeah, and you pick a person, you spend maybe a week with them, and you really dive like little mini documentaries. Almost.
Yeah, and even exactly, and also, oh, this is awesome. Hell yeah, man! I needed this. Yeah, because it's like because I also. You know, so you're primarily acting.
Right.
Maybe, just throwing it out there, maybe like we end up shooting something. A short film, like very short, very simple.
Right.
But kind of like a variety show. Yeah. Like a variety show. Yeah. And if it's a musician, we end up
at it's
a music video or they play at the end or something like that. So that's how I could envision it moving. And you are exactly right about the intention. That the hardest part about podcasting, I think right now, it's not doing the actual podcast. It's you got to have the mentality of this is going to take a while to build momentum because there's so many things out there and people's attention spans are so short.
Right.
And that's one thing.
But there is a market for it. There's a lot of people out there.
There is. And I'm a long form content guy. I'm not going to say, hey, Anthony, come on for 15 minutes and plug you. I'm just not going to do that. Right. So if people want that, there's a lot of other podcasts out there, but like what we're creating, this really is an art piece. Yeah. That we are capturing conversations in this moment in time that's going to go in high definition on the internet. And it's like people can listen or watch, but it's our time. It's our moment. So that's, dude, it's an art.
Good, man. That fire, I'm getting chills. That fires me up that you're doing that. Keep doing it, bro. Don't stop.
Thank
and
you
like,
for
dude,
that.
Joe Rogan, how long did it take?
He started in what, 2012, 2011, and he was doing it just to do it. Like he didn't even,
and
I don't think he ever
because he liked it, which you are doing as well.
And that's exactly the point. Like, and that's what it's funny we're talking about this. I had a conversation with someone today. Shout out to Tom Christopoulos, who was just on the podcast. But I'm like, I realized that you just have to do this. And same probably with acting and whatever. Like you have to, if monetary goal is your only goal for doing it, you probably shouldn't do when it comes to art
monetary
stuff.
means like
money.
Yeah.
When you're just thinking about the money, it's like you really got to enjoy doing this. And I realized like, okay, this is an extension. That's what Tom said. It's like an extension of who you are. And I'm like, hey, this may never go anywhere, and that's perfectly fine. But I enjoy doing it, and it's my way of staying connected to the creative community.
Yeah.
And having our conversations that we want to have for people that think like us.
Yeah.
And if it's only a group of 50 to 100 people, so be it, man.
Dude, yeah.
Because what I think what's best, and I don't know, when you listen to podcasts, even when you read a book or a podcast, which, by the way, I have something for you. I'm just going to gift it now on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius?
No. All right, I know Marcus Aurelius, but...
Okay. I wish someone would have given it to me.
Dude, thanks, bro.
Early on. But it's a good book.
All right, dude.
I realized when books are big to me, and I'm really big on sharing the information.
Thanks, bro.
And knowledge.
I would definitely read it.
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy some of that. But
hell yeah.
Sometimes you just hear... Sometimes in a book, you just read one little thing, or you hear something on a podcast, or you're in an acting class or whatever, and it just clicks.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm about. Like, is like if someone can just listen, and maybe one thing
and
one
thing can resonate with them,
and that fires them up to go do something. And it's a continuous contribution to society. Yeah. And that's what we're doing. We're archiving it and putting it out there. And who knows, man? Maybe 15 years from now, someone finds this after you've blown the heck up, right. And got like 3 Oscars or whatever, and it's like, oh man, let's go check him out on this podcast back in 2000.
Oh man, yeah, dude, that's a good point, man. It's podcasts are important, and it's I don't read as much. I just started trying to devote 10 pages a day, but podcasts, I feel like most of my knowledge are from podcasts.
Yeah,
and throwing it in at the gym when I'm on a walk or whatever, and so important. And it's because it's easy to learn too. Yeah. It's easy because sometimes I don't want to sit and read a book for 3. I'm gonna read this, but sometimes I don't want to.
You can read literally a paragraph a day.
I'm gonna do 10 pages a day. That's my thing right now. Podcasts are just important. They're important.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite podcast you listen to?
I mix it up. Theo Vaughn. Do you know Theo? Dude,
he's hilarious.
And he's a sweetheart. He's a comedian, but that guy is a thinker, man. You could tell he's been through some stuff. Yeah. He puts on a little front sometimes as this fun guy, but that guy thinks, and and he's just freaking hilarious. But and he brings on if I was a podcaster, I'd bring on guests like him. He brought a plumber on one time, and the guy that started Raising Cane's. I'm like, that's awesome. That's my man right there.
Is Raising Cane's from Vegas?
Dude, is it?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not? You claiming that, Eric? Ohio only? Okay.
I live in Louisiana.
Okay.
He knew instantly.
Yeah. Don't mess with my canes.
It's been in Vegas a while, though. It was there when I first moved there.
It's bomb. It's best thing. I love it better than Chick-fil-A. Wow. Is that a bold move? Bold statement? Have you had it? Really?
I'm going to publicly admit I've never had it.
There's one in the Valley, I think.
There's one in Burbank.
Okay,
you know what? It's always packed. Always a line into the street.
You got to get it.
What do you get at Raising Cane's?
Dude, I get the Caniac, baby.
The Caniac?
Caniac, dude, is like 6 pieces of the most chicken you can get. Toast, French fries, coleslaw. Trade out the coleslaw for an extra piece of toast and an extra Caniac sauce.
That's a pro move right there.
Get a Coke, man.
Post Malone, I believe, opened one in where he's at in Utah.
Oh, in Utah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I bet.
He's living makes sense.
Yeah. What a guy Post Malone is. dude.
I tell you what, you want to listen to it. Yeah, he really I listened to him on Rogan.
Yeah,
last time I've listened
the
to the
most
last
recent
couple
one or
ones.
the
both of them.
I haven't seen
That dude's a cool cat, man. Like he's got
dude.
and he got a lot of insight because he was talking about living out here and like, look, I love living out here.
Yeah,
but I understood what he was like.
The superstar living out here.
Yeah, when you get to like his level, it's just like, oh, I got to get out of here.
A lot. Yeah,
I got to go.
Dude.
You know.
I have a funny story about him. So I used to be a diehard Post Malone. Are you pretty diehard Post Malone?
I'm not diehard, but I like him. I really like that song with him and Doja Cat.
Okay, that one of the newer ones. Yeah,
yeah, he's a real creative dude. Yeah,
dude, yeah, and just a sweet guy. He when he was first coming up, he did a mixtape that went on SoundCloud, which I remember listening to the night it came out, and then he did Stoney, his first like real official release, and he was still a small artist, and he came to the Brooklyn Bowl in Vegas, 2,000 people. I went with my girlfriend in high school, and this was like 2016, 2017. And so 2,000 person venue versus what he's doing now, which he's selling out freaking stadiums. And we got front row, and it was an amazing experience. Dude crowd surf. And then at the very end, he's famous for his Bud Light. He takes his Bud Light twist off can, throws it in the crowd, and it was like Jesus touched me and touched him. And dude, I fucking reached up and I grabbed it. All these hands went for it and it just landed right in my hand. I shoved it right in my pocket. I still have it to this day.
Are you serious?
Post Malone's bottle cap. Yeah.
Well,
I know.
I pictured the Michelangelo painting.
It felt like you see all these hands going through the air, and I'm like, it was awesome.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show it to him one day. No, I'm just kidding. But
you know what? Yeah. It seems like I've watched some fan video. He really loves his fans, man.
Dude.
Like he will talk to people and he's just like a real person, it seems. Like no superstardom or anything.
Yeah.
He just
let the fame get to him and
yeah. And I think that's really rare, man. It's really rare to have a cat like that, that has that awareness. He of course he knows how big he is, but it's just but keeping that humbleness about you.
You know, I watched a podcast, not Joe Rogan, but with him being interviewed, and they kind of interviewed his manager a little bit. They would shoot the camera on him a few times. And the interviewer was just like, you know, how are you such a good dude? Like, what's your thing? Like, why I don't get why you're such a solid guy. Like what we were just saying, you're a pop star, you're A-list celebrity, you're one of the most famous people in the world. And the manager, you know, kind of vouched for him too, just basically saying we've just been loyal to the little circle we've had. We've had the same circle since the beginning, and since, you know, the 2,000 person crowd, and now it's, you know, 50,000 people, and it's the same group of people that have been with him. And you know, there's a lot of just humble love around there. And I think that reflects his success as well. The way he treats people, and you know how he's loyal to those, you know, the ones that he came up with, and it reflects in, you know, he's a happy guy, he's a good guy, and he's freaking one of the biggest stars there is. Yeah. So it's cool.
Yeah.
You know,
you should look up his Raising Cane's commercial.
Oh, he's got one?
Dude, it's
all right.
I think it's on his Instagram.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's legit.
Okay. I'll check it out, man.
Yeah, man. No, that's fun. Dude, that's an awesome story at the Brooklyn. Yeah, I've been to the Brooklyn Bowl once or twice. I can't remember, but that was an experience, and that whole Link area added a lot.
The Link strip, all that.
You know?
Yeah.
And the Sphere now is the big thing.
Everybody's
I'm sure you too. You just go on Instagram, all your people in Vegas, just posting the Sphere.
They're just standing out in front of it, videotaping it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Let me ask you a question about Vegas real quick, and I mean this in the most respectful way to Las Vegas before anyone. Yeah. Do you think it's growing too much? And what I mean by that, and you grew up there, but just from what I've seen, I'm not saying it's bad, but it also I feel the city is changing in a way. It's a lot of people now over there.
Yeah.
And where I don't know if it was necessarily built
right
for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, built for that. That's a good way to put it. Just now coming back, there's traffic now. You have to account for traffic every time you leave the house. It's getting big, maybe too big. Because it's a hot spot, but I don't know. don't know the structure of how people build cities, but we got a lot of damn land out there to build. So I don't know if since we can just keep going out, it's okay, but there's a lot. And the house my family lives in that I go back and visit, it used to be on the edge of town. Like the mountains were right there. Dude, we're surrounded by houses now.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know. I can't give a solid answer because I'm not there enough.
Yeah. I was just curious, for someone that grew up there, but yeah, you're right. Like you go to different parts of town that were once like nothing there. Right. Like I'll just use the Southwest as an example. Like that Durango area, 215 used to be like really nothing, but now like where the IKEA was built and everything, like it's just exploded with houses and restaurants and the casino and man. But you're right. No, they got space.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes the roads and the highways is like, there's a lot more people on here than what there used to be on the 215.
No, on the 215. Yeah. And, no, you put it in a good way. The roads weren't built for this. They need to be bigger.
But I'm like, what Vegas is always, the joke is Vegas is always under construction on the roads.
Oh,
like, yeah. Ever since I moved there and even go back, like they're always working
construction. Yeah, something. I follow those Vegas like meme accounts. And they're always posting
Vegas issues.
Yeah,
and
Vegas
stuff.
vlogs. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, my friend, this has been a treat.
Awesome, man.
This has been an incredible experience. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, man.
I really appreciate your kind words toward the podcast and everything.
Keep going, bro.
Thank you, man. And again, I mean, kudos to you, man, for everything you're doing. And
thanks,
before I give the guests the last word, like I always do, how can the people find you? Where should they look for certain things with the movies? Where's everywhere people should go?
Easiest way, I stay updated on my Instagram, Anthony Casabianca, with an extra A at the end, all one word. And any update about where to see films and what's coming up next will be on my Instagram.
Just go to the gram.
Go to the gram, baby.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I always give the guest the last word. It can be short or as long, as deep or as shallow as you want it to be.
I'm going to try to be deep. Let me think.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to the deep end on this. What's something
you can pick
you
your
want to
nose. You can pick your friend's nose. No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Okay. I'll just keep it sweet. Something I journal a lot. And the last thing I always say in my journal is keep going. So keep going, bro. Amen to that.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, keep going, and not to take away from your last word, man, but I mean it when I say keep going, because you're doing some amazing things, and I see a very bright future and present, as we were talking about, enjoying the ride.
Yeah, of course.
I'm really excited to see Third Wheel and everything
man.
Else you got going on.
Awesome,
man.
bro. Appreciate
thank you, my friend.
Yeah, dude. Been a pleasure. Thanks,
It's been a pleasure. Till next time.
All right, till next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Sam Dever podcast. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you watch the podcast, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@thesamdeverpodcast.